Exelmayer, Forum Sport, Czech Republic. Don't take it personally. You have my admiration for your work with the team, but you haven't played a game in 2 weeks. Do you think? Are you out of game pace? Thank you.
Zu Anfang?
Bei mir ist noch nicht durch. Du kannst anfangen.
Ja, das stimmt. Wir haben jetzt unser letztes Saison.
Yeah, that's true. We had our last game 2 weeks ago. But whether that is a big problem, I wouldn't necessarily say that. Yeah, of course, we always talk about rhythm, whether it's better or in this case worse. But personally, for me, this doesn't make a difference. We train very well, very intensely. We had a few breaks as well, so we're well prepared. I agree.
Question to Nico. You are playing alongside Mats Hummels, who is a very experienced defender and has had many good performances this campaign. What do you learn from him, and how important is it for you to play alongside Mats Hummels?
Mats has been there, done that. He's won everything except for the Champions League pretty much. So I'm always happy to play next to him. He is very experienced. He can do everything on the ball, against the ball. So there is a lot that I can learn from him. So he gives me stability, and especially in the Champions League, he has given a lot of stability to the team, so I'm very happy to play next to him. So he used to be a role model, and now he's a friend and teammate, so I'm very happy to play with him.
México. Pregunta para Schlotterberg.
It's a question for Schlotterberg. I wanted to ask you about the Real Madrid forwards, men like Vinícius, Rodrigo, even Bellingham, high-level players who have played, done all sorts of things in the Champions League and made life complicated for many defenders. You as a defender, how do you defend a player like that? If pressure can be against you, or is that a motivation? Thank you.
Well, we'll see, but I think they will. All three of them have incredible qualities. I know Jude well because we played together for a year, so he can do everything. He can run with the ball and without the ball. He can dribble. He can use his head. He can shoot. You have to be very careful with him, and we don't have to talk much about the wingers. They're very strong in their dribblings. Every player in the world has had problems with them. So yeah, I look forward to the duel. You can't defend individually against them. You have to do it as a team. So if we can control the three offensive players, we have a chance to win tomorrow. A question for Julian. So if you see Real Madrid over the years, so they've had loads of success. Do you have a true belief that you can win tomorrow? Yeah, well, our Champions League season and what we've showed against lots of teams. So Edin said it very well. This is the ultimate opponent now, Real Madrid. There is nothing bigger in the Champions League with their history. But as you said, well, the two of us here, but all the other guys who will come later, if we didn't believe it, then we could have stayed back at Dortmund. So yeah, of course, we have total belief, and we're going to show that tomorrow. Tomorrow is Toni Kroos and Marco Reus's last game. Can you say something about both of them? Well, I played with both for quite a while, with Tony in the national team, with Marco here at club level. They're both exceptional players. Tony Kroos, has a huge legacy as a German player. The amount of titles he's won, he started with it in Germany and then continued in Spain with all the titles, but also the way he plays football. He's an absolute icon of the game, a sensational guy. And Marco, well, he is the one, not the only one, but he is one of the people who made sure that I play for this club when I was a child, that he was my role model. I looked up at him. I watched YouTube videos with him. So it's still amazing and great joy to play and train with him. And so both of them are big names.
A question for both Julian and Nico. Julian Ryerson did a great job against Kylian Mbappé in the semifinals. What do you think about his development since joining Dortmund, and what do you expect from him in the final?
Ja.
Well, as a defensive player, I can say, so yeah, he's a bit of a pit bull. He's an incredible player. I played with him before, and he worked very hard to get that, and he's developed very well. So I'm very happy for him. He worked very hard for it, and he deserves it. He always gives everything for the team. He always has the willpower, and we're all very happy to have him in our team, because every team needs a player like him.
For both players, you play alongside Jude Bellingham. Has he messaged any of his former teammates and tried to get in anyone's heads?
I have not had any contact with him. No, I don't think any players are in touch with him, but I think that's normal, because both us and them as a player, we are in a tunnel and we're concentrating on our own tasks.
Ian Maatsen has become a very important player since he arrived in Dortmund, but he hasn't been selected for the Dutch squad for the Euros. We are in Holland. We are very surprised by that. Are you surprised as well?
Ich habe es, glaube gestern und vorgestern auch gelesen.
I read it yesterday or the day before. I was very surprised, yes. Especially in the second half of the season, he was the best left player, played well against Atletico and PSG. So as a non-Dutch, I can't believe it, but I think the manager will know why. But I think in the future he will play a big role for the Netherlands. I would also have nominated him. In the last few weeks, you talked a lot about a sense of normality. Now you're in London. Can you really be normal now? What are your routines tonight and tomorrow morning? Yeah, we're trying. We've talked about it before. In general, everything here is bigger than in a normal Bundesliga or cup game, but also in the group stages in the Champions League. But of course, you can't get rid of these thoughts, but you can still try to have a normal day. And we've tried to do that so far. We've managed to do that so far. So we're going to try the same for the next 24 hours. We'll have a good training. And yes, of course, there is a certain excitement, and we're looking forward to it because we haven't experienced that before. That's normal, but we're still trying to see it as a football game. Yep, I agree with him. question for both players. What? So you won against Paris, and what do you take from that game for tomorrow? And how do you cope with the pressure? Well, what did we take from that one? Well, as a defensive players, we kept the clean sheet twice, which is a huge success against such an offensive. We can compare them with Real. But so yeah, we know we can win against everyone. We beat PSG twice, so we were very happy. So we are very happy to go into the game tomorrow after that. And without that belief, we wouldn't have had to come here. So I'm really excited about the game tomorrow. And we have a chance to win that game tomorrow. So there are incredible images of your fans in London this weekend. So is that something that you've registered? Of course. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've read that Dortmund fans, that so many Dortmund fans asked UEFA for tickets, and yeah, I talked to players who were here already in 2013, Nuri, Sven, Mats, Marco. They can tell how many Dortmund fans there are in comparison, so it's an extreme chance for us. We have our fans here, so we'll see how many fans we'll actually have in the stadium. So that will be our 12th player.
China, to both of you. So have you talked to Matt and Marco about the Champions League final 11 years ago in 2013, and what have they told you about their experience and the learnings for this game? Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I talked to both. They said it will be a different game because it's very different to a Bundesliga match. But they also said that you have to take it like any other game. And yes, it is in Wembley, 90,000 spectators, but I still think it will be like a home game because we will have so many fans and they will have a great atmosphere. They will hopefully see a great game from our side, but we will treat it like all the other Champions League matches. And yeah, I think we will win tomorrow. I would like to add one thing. So all the success that we would like to have, and especially like the club played here 11 years ago and unfortunately didn't win it then. So we have to try to enjoy the game in the moment, because this is something we don't experience in our lives very often. So I just want to soak up everything around this game. There is basically nothing better than this. This is one of the greatest stadiums in the world. You play against one of the best opponents in the world. There is nothing better than that.